Greetings people, it's Jared here, Wolfgang 1, back to do another Transformers review. So this week, I am reviewing what I wanted to review last week before everything went up the fucking spout. And I'm very, very thankful to say that I've been given a way to get out of that and fixed, sort of circumnavigate the problems that I was having. I will explain more in the review itself. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the review for Generation 1 Blaster.
Right, here we are. Here we have G1 Blaster in his boombox alt mode. He's interesting because he's supposed to be the foil, the counterpart to G1 Soundwave. And yet, in terms of scale, because G1 was all about scale, he's nowhere near. He's like sort of almost double the height. He turns into a sort of boombox where if you had one of these on your shoulder in the 1980s, you were already a stereotype. You were basically a stereotype, New York stereotype, if you will. In fact, I think there was even a episode where he featured with G1 tracks or something like that, with a guy who used him on his shoulder or something like that. My memory is hazy, to say the least. But this is not my original, because obviously I never had this as a kid. I bought this one off eBay for £10 on a buy it now, and it's got a nice little Autobot symbol that I put on there. And he's always worked very, very well. I mean, when I got mine, one of his little antennae on his head had broken off. It was pre-broken. But he's always worked very, very well. And I've not touched Blaster for a number of years. And I got him out to do his review and discovered that this button here, which releases the tape deck mechanism just here, has died. Now this is a common thing with Blaster. The tape deck mechanism eventually will fail. The ejector system will fail, and there is a YouTube video that I've got saved in my save list for how to do the tape deck repair. This video is about 16 years old, and I couldn't be bothered to watch it in time to do this video. Thankfully, however, one of my YouTube subscribers recently picked up the Toon Accurate Colors G1 Blaster and no longer needed their reissue from a couple of years back. So we're going to fuck off my original just here, and we're going to bring in his replacement. Now, his replacement had a red Autobot sticker on it originally. I've taken it off and put the silver one on for consistency purposes only. Exactly the same toy, exactly the same mold, colors, everything like that. And yeah, he's got a decent amount of weight to him. This one, let me just show you some of the things that he came with. He would have come with an instruction booklet, which I don't have, and this massive fucking gun. Yeah. So I will show that off when it comes up. Sadly, no storage capacity on the toy, but whatever. So G1 Blaster, now there's a few different versions of this character that have come out over the last few years. Studio Series 86, and I think the Kingdom line or Legacy line had one. The Masterpiece line has yet to get one, and they're missing a trick because this is supposed to be Soundwave's counterpart. All you have to do is remold the MP Soundwave, the MP13 mold, and you would get a Blaster. It prints its own money basically, and they haven't done it, so I'm very, very surprised. A little bit of tweaking on the engineering and everything like that, and you would get basically this toy. And I don't mind this. And don't get me wrong, I don't mind this toy. I don't. I mean, I've had Blaster in my collection now for a number of years. I don't fuck around with him because he's never really been on my radar. His character was quite interesting in the Marvel comic, and he was all right in the series, but he was never really on my radar. And I've only got this toy at all because it's a G1 and I have a G1 collection. This toy's okay. It's just that, as I said, scale was never much of a factor in the G1 line. So this guy stands about the same height as Ultra Magnus. It's supposed to be the counterfoil to Soundwave and sort of things like that. And it even stretches my imagination a bit far, quite frankly. But massive thank you to my YouTube subscriber for gifting me this to keep and for the purposes of this review. So thank you very much. It's greatly appreciated. So the tape deck mechanism. You press down this button just here, and the tape deck opens. I panicked for a moment there. Spring loaded, and what you do is you put these little cassette bots. You can only fit one. I've got Steeljaw here as an example. in cassette mode, looking about as much as like a cassette as my John Thomas, quite frankly, but whatever. And then you put the cassette in there, and then you close the fucker up, and he holds the cassette, which is lovely. Playability value in terms of this mode, that's about as much as you're getting, quite frankly. Unlike Soundwave, he hasn't got any little dials that you can turn around or anything like that. This is basically what you get. And again, no storage for the weapon, which is a shame. Something around the back, they could have had the weapon break into 2 parts and like or 3 parts, and could have had like sort of stored in different. Maybe if the gun wasn't so big, that might have been nice. But you know, fuck it, whatever. And this toy is weird, right? In the sense that he's quite tall, as I said. But his proportions are fucking way off. I mean, he's got a massive body, massive legs, and that. And does anyone remember the film Beetlejuice? Right at the end, you had the shrunken head guy. This guy, I think, suffers from shrunken head syndrome. So what we're going to do is we're going to go on to the transformation for this fella. And what we're going to do is we're going to start by prizing apart the handle just here, like that. That'll slide off there. And then we're going to fold. Actually, do you know what? Let me scale this back a little bit and then get the light out of the way. We can see what's going on now. Yeah, get the light out of the way. Fuck you. Fuck you. There we go. So we prize that apart, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull the legs out like that. Okay, collapsing in on this side, and then pushing down the black tab onto the plastic, and oh, it's already done it. Okay, and then bringing it into the leg just like so. And then we're going to bring the legs out, pop him down like that, and then bring out these tiny, offensively small little black tabs, which are going to form his feet. Okay, his feet are titchy. So we're going to raise the camera up and get the light out the way some more. And then we're going to pull on these sections just here, these bars. We're going to flip the arms around and then lock them back into place like that. Pull down these sections just here, and then these got 2 little sliders here on each arm. You're going to push down on each of those. That will reveal the hands. Twist the hands round, and then finally flip up his head, spin it round. His half a head, and then stand the fucker up. And then there, ladies and gentlemen, is G1 Blaster. Now, can you see what I was talking about in terms of body shaping and like sort of disproportionately small head compared to fucking everything else? I noticed it when I first got the figure, when I first got my one. I noticed that looks a bit fucking weird. What I'll do is I'll how am I going to do this? Let me bring him up to the camera if I can. No, right, fuck it. I'm trying to get a close up of his head. Well, if the camera would focus, he's got quite a nice head sculpt. But as the camera's not focusing, just fucking ignore that. In terms of articulation, well, guess what? His arms will do that, right? And then we put his massive fucking gun in his hand, and then he does this. And then you can push down on his little button just there. His chest will open. He can fire out a cassette if he wants to. Do you know what? Let me raise that camera in. Oh, actually, no, too far. What the fuck? Do you know what? That's not even remotely close to what I wanted to do. There. Do you know what? That'll fucking do. Because this review's gone far longer than I would have liked. So that's him with his alt mode, and with ram horn just there, and eject or rewind. I'm not sure which one that is. Just there with these little minions, who are in their own ways a little bit shit. You know, for someone who claims to love the G1 line, I ain't really got a good word to say about it, have I? there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Generation 1 Blaster. He is an imposing figure. He's an imposing toy. He sticks out a fucking mile like a sore thumb. And yes, the tape deck issue is something that the toy generally suffers with as a general rule. The older the toy, obviously, the more likely you are to have this spring-loaded mechanism just fucking die, basically. And there is a way to fix it. I just can't be bothered. Again, I want to extend a massive shout out to my YouTube subscriber who asked to remain anonymous for donating me a Generation 1 Blaster that wasn't completely buggered 6 ways to Sunday. I have vodka, by the way. Yay. Overall, yeah, I mean, overall, I like him. He's just, I would have liked him to have been the same size as Soundwave, because at least then if you're having a battle, do you know what? Fuck it, I've got Soundwave right here, right? Fuck this review. It's gone on long enough as it is, right? But hang on, just humour me on this, right? They're supposed to be, and that's my Generation 1 Blaster on the floor, whatever. They're supposed to be mortal enemies, right? Soundwave comes just a little bit higher than Blaster's crutch. Now, it's a bit difficult for these two to have a one-on-one sparring match and everything like that. When this guy's got to stand on a fucking stepladder just to make eye contact with this one, right? So, you know, make of that what you will, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for watching this review. This is Gerard Gavenberry, also known as Wolfgang1, saying I'll be back in the near future with more reviews, more 7 Days to Die. That kicks off on Friday, the 6th of December. There's more music, a couple of more demos coming to the channel. Star Trek Episode 4 will be available at some point before the end of the year. It's just, it takes a lot of time and hassle to try and edit together what I want to do. Good vodka. So yeah, do hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back soon. Until then, thank you for watching and take care.
And when tomorrow comes, I feel you laying by me, like you ain't got nowhere else to go.